Yeah, we're actually going to get out of Cash Marina. It's near the end of February actually, and the last time we were out was when we went out and I took the engine for a test run around the island. We tried to go out after that and we had the little problem with the starter motor and the solenoid. The little problem with the starter motor and the solenoid, and since all that's been fixed we haven't had the opportunity to get out due to lockdown restrictions at the weekend, wind, rain and
work, and also time schedules.
So really looking forward to this. The plan is that we're going to go out of here around the peninsula and head east towards the Keckover area, but we're going to stay outside of Keckover and keep on going east until we get to Finucane Marina, which is part of the Setter Marina group. We'll stay there for 2 nights. We've booked in already, and that's all part of the Setter contract that we can stay there for free. Then we'll leave there on the Thursday and go to Smugglers, which is just inside Keckover area, and anchor up for 1 night at Smugglers because we want to do some filming there. I think you're going to appreciate that.
Oh, you'll love it. Yeah.
And back here for Friday, just before the weekend curfew lockdown happens. So that's the plan. Let's see how it goes.
Keep your fingers crossed this time.
And your toes. Good morning. We are just informing you that we have left Pontoon B and we are going out in the direction of Finucane for 2 or 3 days. We expect to be back in Cash Marina on Friday lunchtime or afternoon. Over.
Good morning, Mr. Jones. Have a good sailing, George.
Thank you very much. This is ABC standing by at 16.
Fenders at jaunty angle, Captain.
Carry on, number 2.
Thank you, number 1. Stern line stowed, Captain.
Beautiful.
Oh, they're so even.
We just rounded the tip of the peninsula and I've been down below and had a check of the engine. It all sounds fine, it all looks fine. I've also checked the alternator is feeding the Argofet battery isolator unit that we installed. That light is on, so it's getting a charge. I've checked the instrument panel down below at the nav station, and our house batteries and our starter battery are all getting a charge. So everything seems to be working quite normally. There is no wind today, and that's fine because we really want to give a good long run to the engine after the rebuild, and like I said, it all sounds fine at the moment. There was a little bit of an incident as we came along the peninsula. There's a lot of construction going on there, and construction sites like to burn their rubbish, so I'm just standing here staring out at the horizon and I'm going, what's that smell of burning? But there was quite a few construction sites burning their rubbish, but check below and it's all good. So we've got about another 5.5 hours to Finucane Marina, and I think we're in for a nice mellow day and everything should be fine. Just a couple of nautical miles off the coast of Cash is the Greek island of Castellorizo, and unfortunately it's still out of bounds. I think the Turks and the Greeks have now kind of finished their saber rattling about the oil and gas exploration that was going on, and that's all settled down. We don't see any military helicopters flying over or naval ships doing their patrols. Coast Guard is still active, of course, from both sides of the coin, but the reason we can't go there right now is because of the travel restrictions due to borders being closed. It's a shame really, because it's a beautiful island and we'd really like to take ABC into the bay right there and drop anchor and go ashore and check things out. But then again, we got the Greek cruising tax, which you'd have to pay for a month just for a day trip there. So more than likely, when restrictions lift, we'll just grab the ferry from Cash Town and go over there for the day on the ferry.
Just seen dolphins.
Usually when we're heading east, we're generally heading for Keckover, which is slightly further east off the chart here. And we would round this corner here and come through this gap here. But today, because it's quite calm and we want to do something different, we're actually going to come around this portion of the headland and go up this side here and take a look, see what it looks like from that side, because we've never seen it from that side. We've come on the outside of that point over there. This is the outside of the island that we were discussing, and as you can see, it looks pretty much like the inside of the island. And just here is where the gap comes out that we would have cut through normally. Looking further ahead, we can see the outer islands of the Keckover region. And again, instead of going inside to Keckover, we're actually going around the outside. This area in here is the Keckover Roads area. These are the anchorages we normally go to, here, 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 and Smugglers up there. But of course we're not going in there today. We're coming around the outside, staying away from that isolated danger, and heading further up in the direction of Finucane. Seem to be showing you an awful lot on the chart today. Just for reference, this is the inside area of Keckover and this is the outside. Now, one of the more interesting and attractive anchorages of Keckover is on the outside in this little bay here. And what we're going to do is we're going past and it's, you know, we're doing decent time, we're going to just take a slight detour and have a mosey around there so we can get a look and feel for it in case we use it next time we're down this neck of the woods. And hopefully, because it is the middle of winter and nobody else is about, we should have the whole place to ourselves, which will give us a good chance to just motor around and check it out.
There's some waves up there, look.
have to admit that I was a little bit surprised to see 2 yachts already tied up in there. It is obviously, as you saw, an anchorage where you've got to drop your anchor and tie a line back to shore. And I would imagine that in the summer, once the day tripping gullets get in there, then it's going to be really, really busy, and there's probably going to be a lot of tangled anchors. So a place to go in the winter time for sure. Lovely protection in there, all-round protection. It's just a place to get away from it all. No facilities ashore, of course. So onwards we go. There is an unfinished marina just down the coast, and we're going to just do a flyby or a sail-by and have a quick look through the binoculars, because it's always good to know these things and know what the approaches are like, just in case we're ever in this part of the world and something comes up with the weather or the boat, and we need to find somewhere to drop anchor where we are protected. So we'll check that out on our way to Finucane. We're just coming up to the outside edge of the ballast blocks of the unfinished marina, and just ahead of us there is a tug towing a barge, and on the barge is what looks like dredging equipment. So I'm going to guess that he's going into the marina to continue dredging it out to get whatever depth that they want. So maybe there's hope for this marina getting finished sometime. Yep, so there's the barge with the dredging equipment just going inside the entrance to the marina. The colour of the sea has changed quite dramatically here because this is quite a shallow coastal area. We're actually in 12 meters of water here. The reason why this is so shallow is because what we're looking at on the coast here is Demre. And a couple of episodes back we went to Demre and we visited the rock tombs and the amphitheatre of Myra and also St. Nicholas's Church. So this is what Demre looks like when you're looking at it from offshore. We're about 30 minutes away from Finucane Marina, which is just around that headland there. But as we came around here, we're greeted with this wonderful snow-covered mountains in the background. Quite majestic. The Turkish mountains are just awe-inspiring, they really are. We're now on our final approach to Finucane Marina, possibly see the marina wall there and the mast behind it. Beautiful view to come into. Just ahead of us we have a fish transport boat because we have 1, 2, 3 fish farms that we've passed. So Finucane is a big area for supplying fish along the coast. So the rough plan is we're just going to slow down as we get to the entrance, call the Marineros. Not a lot of room to maneuver inside as far as we can see, and the Marineros will show us where we need to go rather than go in there, find out we're in the wrong place and have to do some fancy maneuvers. Sharp-eyed amongst you will notice that we're not wearing the same clothes when we're recording this bit as we were when we arrived here at Finucane, and that's because when we arrived we'd had no wind at all on the way down, and we turned around the corner on the approach to Finucane and had 17 knots of wind, so we couldn't really record a segment because of wind noise. Anyway, we are here, and what do you reckon?
It's lovely. It's very quaint. And do you know what? Every single person that we've seen has gone, hello, how are you?
Yeah.
Oh, it's really friendly here.
Yeah, there seems to be quite a big community of liveaboards and everyone seems to know everybody. And I think that's down to what they get up to at the weekend. And that is, it's not a Roman orgy, it is they have like a communal weekend barbecue for all the residents, and everyone gets to know everybody. We're only going to stay here for 2 nights, but we've decided to stay the weekend because there's quite a lot to explore here, and we want to show you guys and girls what we're going to find.
Yeah.
And also we want to try and meet everyone at the barbecue.
Yeah.
So this is day 2
Yeah.
of Finucane, and we're now about to go into town and have a wander around and see what we can see.
Find, yes.
Yeah.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
The comments on last week's video were absolutely awesome, and thanks to everybody who's contributed to that. It's certainly given us a lot of food for thought. We're continuing our research on that route and also alternative routes as we eventually make our way back to Australia. We'd also like to welcome our newest patron, Emma Williams. Welcome aboard, Emma. It's great to have you with us. Do us a favour, give us a big thumbs up or a thumbs down if you didn't like the video. And if you'd like to join the conversation, leave a comment in the section below.